Yeah, and you just said on paper the best team at this tournament of the 22 through 4 games. They're 4-0-0-0 with the 4-column record with the different point values for overtime wins. And they've got a plus 25 goal differential through their 4 games. They're outscoring opponents 28-3. They've only allowed 3 goals. That's less than 1 per game on average. So that's pretty good. And we've got something kind of interesting. We have kind of an LA Kings retro versus current jersey matchup.
Wow, I didn't even think of that. That's a great point you make.
And one of the teams is called the Kings as well. The Young Kings, that is.
So you talk about how First Class has allowed 3 goals this entire tournament. They've done that with 1 goalie. Cooper Rosen has been a gem for this First Class club. As he's wearing number 30 inside the circle, the other goalie appears to be Ryan Longley as they talk to each other. Mateo Catala was listed on the roster for First Class, but he is still not here at this tournament.
Yeah,
not sure if something happened, but yeah, Dylan.
That's something we were talking about when we did the First Class game a couple of days ago, just the 1 goaltender. We've seen a handful of teams at this tournament only have 1 roster goaltender, but this is the only team, at least that I've seen, where there are 2 on the roster, but only 1 with the club. You mentioned Cooper Rawson, as the only one, has been in net for all 4 games. So his stats mirror the team stats. Goals allowed average of 0.75 and a 950 save percentage here at this tournament. And when you talk about the leaderboards here at this tournament, he's second place in goals against average and save percentage. He's also second place at 950. So one of the better goalies in this tournament. And to make it even more legit, a bigger sample size than most of the others on the leaderboard, because most of these goalies are splitting their game. So in spite of being called upon for all now 5 games, including this one, which is about to get underway, he is second place in the 2 most relevant goalie stats.
And he's the only one out of the top 15 who has played all 4 games.
Yes.
So he has handled the load well, and here we go. A big one on tap between First Class and the Young Kings. Once again, welcome into the broadcast here on WSBN. Here's Scotty Sims, points leader for First Class, 8 assists. As typically when players are racking up the points in this tournament, they have a primary amount when it comes to more goals. But Scotty Sims is one of those rare ones where all he does is dish out the puck, and he does it well.
Yeah, he is a forward, and we talked about the goaltender leaderboard. His 8 assists and 2 goals for 10 points is tied for 4th most points in this tournament so far. His assists tied for the most assists at 8 with 2 other players.
That sure doesn't shock me.
And those are all the assists the refs caught, right?
Yes,
So,
that's true.
You never know.
That means there's some pretty good assists.
Yeah.
Or he's got some pretty good refs.
Yeah.
One of the 2. Out of the zone now is Brooks Ferguson as he slides it across for Wyatt Hicks. Hicks has 0 points in the stat sheet, but he was a huge hero against the ESH National Selects where they won in shootout. That was in day 1. I believe that was their first game of the entire tournament.
Mm-hmm.
As they possess here in the offensive zone. Asher Clements, a team leading 3 goals. And that ends up in the glove of Rosen. Yeah, very balanced attack for the Young Kings. Nobody with more than 3 points.
Yeah, and you look at their each player's individual points. There's, looking at 7 players who have yet to get on the score sheet with either a goal or an assist. So to have that winning record at 3-1 with, just relying on your big guys, and like you said, even like the guys that are getting points are not really completely just racking them up like that. So they're getting these wins without very many high-scoring games, and we've seen the one-goal games.
Loose puck in front. Was not tapped in. It ends up below the net now as Jace Watts turns back. Sends it to the slot, and it couldn't be caught correctly, and now here come the Young Kings the other way. It's Blake Hamilton. He's nudged off the puck. A good recovery there by Watts. Sinha sends it in deep. Rosen will leave it as Matthew Tang looks to get things started. Vanek Verk. That looked to be offsides, and it will be offsides.
And there's what I would call an on-time whistle from the linesman on the offsides call.
They were just adjusting to the morning.
That's right.
First Class representing the British Columbia region out in Western Canada. Quite the mileage between these two teams.
Yeah.
You're talking the New Jersey, Philly area, mid-Atlantic in the United States for the Young Kings, and then you have to go just about entirely northwest all the way to the other side to find Burnaby, which is where First Class is located.
Reminds me of one of the bigger storylines of the Stanley Cup final is it was
There's a shot through traffic. Nice save there by Burns.
Farthest two opponents away from each other in Stanley Cup final history. What was it, a 6-hour flight those guys made 4 separate times throughout that series?
Yeah. Sinha. Pass snuck through the stick of Torrin Chamberlain, and now First Class repossesses. First Class, as we mentioned, first in the tournament. They're looking to keep that going, but they're facing arguably one of their toughest opponents yet. And that was head coach Chris Shaw for First Class, who wanted the tripping call, wouldn't get it. And now here comes Scotty Sims. He had it poked away, and it's speed the other way coming from Wyatt Hicks. Hicks now down the near side, trying to cut to the slot. Loose puck in front, now sticked below. Stopping on a dime there is Brooks Ferguson. It's rescued by Hicks, but not for long. And First Class is able to get it from one zone to another, but with a little bit too much muscle as we get an icing call.
Decent pace to this game, although it just really feels like we haven't seen many high danger scoring opportunities. Lots of loose pucks in the blue paint area, but what looks like could be a pretty decent chance to get a goal fades quickly as the puck is swiped out of there, or some other defensive play that really doesn't make you hold your breath if you're a fan of either of these teams. It'll be interesting to see how long we're 0-0 here, as a lot of games in this tournament, I wouldn't say are necessarily higher scoring, but we see scoring early and often.
Very true, and here comes threatening Tanner Dixon as he'll turn back. In front, tipped on, and Burns got it in between the legs and squeezed before that one could have snuck through.
Yeah, and there's an example of one of those that makes you hold your breath a little bit. Stopped by the goaltender. It was a good heads-up save, good positioning by the goalie. Stays calm.
Yeah, with the speed of that puck, we're basically waiting on a reaction to see if that puck went in.
Right.
Because it's not like it would have rang around to the other side. It would have just barely trickled, as this one is tipped through traffic and they score! It looks like they're pointing at Carter Carignan as he leads the line and strikes first for First Class.
Yeah, the line leader is usually the indicator, and they have indeed given it to him on the score sheet. And First Class just keeps piling on the goals. 1-0. It wasn't in the first 5 minutes, but might as well have been.
Darn well close, yeah. There's a nice defensive play from Chamberlain, but he couldn't grasp that puck. 2-on-1 could be developing here. if not for some nice defense from Sinha. First class, 7 goals a game on average, and they allow less than a goal a game.
Yeah, that's gonna not much of a mystery as to why they're sitting in first place when you look at those stats.
Kellen McDonough coughed it up. It will be held by Ferguson. And here's Carignan. Sends it in deep, but that is an icing nonetheless. First class can get some fresh legs out there.
Shots on goal. First class leads 4-2 with the only goal of the game. Carter Carrigan, maybe?
Carignan, maybe? I don't know.
Either
no, I think you said it right, because I think I've been saying it wrong this whole time. Carignan just doesn't sound right.
Carignan, yeah, right.
We're going to go with Carignan.
Okay. Yeah, these tournaments always make sure to stop with the coaches and have a chat before the games, but when you're broadcasting games at a tournament like this and it's just back-to-back-to-back, you only have those 10 minutes for the Zamboni before the game starts, and usually by that time the coaches are in the locker room. So
yep,
can't confirm all these pronunciations, but
we're
doing our best.
I do have the Young Kings because the game I had for them on day 1, I had some time, so I did go talk to their coach. There's a shot that whistles wide from the stick of Vanek Verk. Now Watts from the point, redirected and scored.
Another deflection goal.
That was Joseph Ferroni with goal number 6 of the tournament, using the hand-eye coordination to double the lead.
They now have 2 goals on 5 shots on target. At this point for Young Kings, the biggest goal should be just to not allow any shots or as few as possible, because they sure know how to take advantage of the opportunities they're given. Luke, what do we say? They're averaging about 7 per game, so.
Yep. Here's some nice speed from Blake Hamilton. Can he get the puck? He can, but he's offsides. His body went over the line first. Good opportunity there, though. And don't count the Young Kings out. Like we said at pregame, every game has been within 1 goal. So they can bounce back. They've also had some statement wins as well. They've handed the ESH National Selects their only loss of the tournament.
Well, Luke, you look at the other side of that. First class has initiated the running clock in all 4 of their games coming in to this one.
Wow.
Meaning they have won all of their games by 5 or more. There's only one they won by 5. They won by 6, by 7, and another by 7. And we were saying earlier that was actually a 10-goal victory, but they are not counting past 7 per game in the goal differential tiebreaker.
Carignan. And that is dumped in by Colton Smith. 2-0 lead early for First Class, who got 2 goals in just the first 7 minutes and 5 seconds. Coming from Carignan first, and then Ferroni after. The Sims-Dixon-Verk line out there right now. And now Sinha from the point hit a body on its way. And now Sinha sends it deep and gets a change. Sims. A nice pass. Laid ahead for Dixon, who tries to go between the legs. No call will be assessed on the defense there from Clay Markham. And it's sent up the walls, Logan Borden. Looking for Chamberlain. It sneaks by him, and it's repossessed by First Class. And there's one of the few turnovers we've seen in this game so far from First Class. They are really good at possessing the puck.
You could say First Class.
Yes.
Wonder if they took a first-class flight to be here.
That's a good question.
It'd only be fitting.
Maybe they take a first class flight out of here if they come away with the tournament.
I like that.
That'd be a way to celebrate.
And this is the team that I've been saying is my favorite to win this tournament. I think just having said that, there are a lot of teams I haven't gotten a chance to see play yet, but I don't know if there's a more complete team than First Class here at this tournament. They're going to have a high bracket seed. Even if they lose their last two games, they're going to have one of the better records at this tournament, and their path to the final won't be too bad. We'll see what they can do.
Another shot attempt there from the Young Kings, but just one that simply does not make it to the net. There's another one. Now loose in the slot, finds a stick of Clemens. He scores! Asher Clements leads this team in goals for a reason. He knows where to be, and he gets that rebound for his fourth of the tournament and the Young Kings' first of the game.
And how about the flowing out of the back of the helmet? That's the exact type of goal that the Young Kings needed. Very similar to the pro hockey goal that they scored in our last game we just did, a scramble play by the net. Again, not one where you add it to the highlight reel, but they all count the same here in this sport. Only one way to score, and that's putting the puck in the net.
You know, it's funny you say that, Dylan. You know, Asher Clements has been the most recognizable player. Like when I was doing the first game of that for the Young Kings of the tournament, and I didn't know anybody, I was looking at warm-ups, so I was like, yeah, I'm going to remember that guy. He's got the locks coming out.
Gotta love it.
Here's a chance for Galloway. He'll turn back and turn it over.
Think that's a natural blonde or a little bleach action?
Perhaps a little bleach. It's got to be.
Good speed on that shot. Although, an easier save there for Cooper Rowson.
Rowson hasn't faced too much. That was shot number 5. And part of the reason that is a lot of shot blocks, either by the Young Kings in their own offensive territory or by First Class. A lot of shots, I think at least 4 have just simply hit the bodies of the players in the lane on the way to the net. As Eli Baugh now is double teamed down below. And this puck goes just about the full 200. We have an icing call. 3:12 to go in the first period. Recent goal was scored 1 minute and 8 seconds ago by Asher Clements after a friendly bounce.
And Young Kings actually have taken possession of the lead in shots now, 6-5. And I think when you look at the First Class schedule, I mean, this is their second to last game of the league portion. If they're going to drop any points, it's probably going to be this Young Kings team who have really battled back from losing their first game of the tournament.
Here's a breakaway for Blake Hamilton. He's being chased. Can he get the shot off? No, he can't. Loses an edge, and that will not get a call.
That's a tough one to call for the official. That could have probably gone either way.
I absolutely agree, Dylan.
Maybe more leaning towards calling it, if you ask me.
I don't know. It feels like he more lost his balance. I think his stick was taken away from the conversation, and that it was not aggressive. I mean, he just
we'll get an opportunity to look at the replay here.
That's a good point.
So we're seeing it on a delay.
Oh, yeah, you're right. No, you're right. That's a trip. He missed the stick. I apologize. Dylan is 100% right on that one. That could have been called. I guess the ref saw it how I saw it initially. And that's what's so tough about officiating. Those types of calls where you just got to make whatever you say is cemented. And it's just tough.
Yeah,
and you could argue that also Hamilton was nearly in shooting form. Therefore, there was a small chance that could have been a penalty shot. Just maybe.
Yeah, of course, at this level, we don't have coaches' challenges or anything like that. But
now we have a call, and it's on the Young Kings. It's Torrin Chamberlain.
We do see the NHL moving towards allowing challenges for penalties. Not sure if you saw this news, Luke, but yesterday a rule change was approved in the NHL where next season you'll be able to coaches challenge whether the puck went out cleanly for a delay of game call in your own defensive zone.
I like that. I did see that notification. I just haven't stumbled upon it yet.
They say you could also now get a penalty for sitting on the boards.
Interesting.
Penalty kill for the Young Kings. Pretty good at this tournament so far, 10 for 11. They need one here.
It's about 91%, am I right? Something like that.
90.9, so yes.
There you go. That was a nice save there by Burns. Here's another chance in front, and they score. A give and go finds the mesh. That's Tanner Dixon, who started and finished that passing sequence. So now a 10 and 12 penalty kill unit. And to make matters worse, that looks like Luke Seiden, who is not putting pressure on that left leg as he makes his way to the bench.
Yeah, that was a good pickup by you. I did not see in live action what could have caused that injury, but we do have an opportunity to take a peek at the replay here.
15 skaters for the Young Kings, now down to 14.
Yeah, it was the collision right in front of the net before the goal. Yeah, and he was on the ground for a while. We will see him return to this game. We've seen a couple injuries at this tournament, but Luke, I don't think I've seen one that has sidelined a player for the remainder of a game.
No, yeah, typically in this tournament, there aren't too many serious injuries. A lot of players play all games, and some miss one or two, but
these may be very young kids who have enough energy in the tank to play 10 games across 6 days, but that doesn't mean it's not going to wear on your body a little bit.
Yeah. Galloway now trying to make something happen. The neutral zone is taken the other way. It's a 3-on-1. Here they come. Sent across the ice, and nice defense there.
Yeah.
That appears to be Blake Tushev, who saved a potential goal. Now it's Ferguson the other way. Bodied off that puck, not enough for a penalty.
A couple dads in the corner want one.
As well as I looked over at the Young Kings coaches, and they had their hand in the air as well. We are into the final 15 seconds of the first period. First class leads by 2. Can they add on to it here? It's Smith with the rip, and it is wide and high, or high and wide. And final seconds will expire before Ruggieri can get this one to the net. Nonetheless, it was gloved by Rosen, and we are 15 minutes down, 30 to go, as number 30, Rosen, has started solid. And it's crazy because he's playing a good game to typical standards, but for his percentages and stats, this is considered a bad game for him. So we're going to take a quick commercial break here on the World Sports Broadcasting Network. For producer Anthony Lunn, I'm Luke Jordan and Dylan Ward. We'll see you back in a moment.
Fed up with the fluffy and cookie cutter mental game advice? You're not alone. My best-selling book, Mindset First, is your guide to discover a reliable and repeatable way to dominate the mental game. You don't need to suffer from performance anxiety, overthinking, and confidence issues. In this concise and practical book, you'll learn how I coach professional athletes to get dialed in and day out. You'll see real-life examples of how athletes train their mind to consistently get in the zone. And the bottom line, you'll have the principles and the strategies to break free from the weight of results, play with confidence, and perform when it matters most.
At Ironmen Industries, we forge the foundation of excellence in steel manufacturing. Our dedication to quality and precision sets the industry standard, delivering unmatched innovation that powers progress and builds tomorrow's world. We don't just produce steel, we craft a legacy of strength. With every cut,
Welcome back to the action. We are just about ready as both teams will come out of the huddles. 3-1 lead for the undefeated First Class, seeking a 5-0-0 record, and they could potentially be the first team to do that. We'll take a quick look around the tournament. There are no other undefeated teams playing right now. The Western Selects are up 1-0 on the Slovakia Kings, and the ESH National Selects are up 2-1 on Southeast Elite. So all games are fairly close right now. This is the most lopsided one, and it's not even lopsided. It's a 2-goal game and a 3-goal period that occurred for First Class on 6 shots. Here come the Young Kings. 2-7 in last year's tournament, 7th out of the 8th teams in the USA division. This year they are much improved. We have a delayed penalty, 2-on-1 with a shot that ends up wide, and nonetheless the Young Kings will get their hard hats on for this important power play opportunity.
Yeah, big power play coming up for the Young Kings. It's something that they have kind of struggled on in terms of power play percentage at this tournament. 3 for 18, 16.7%, including in their last 2 coming in. Both of those games, they had 6 power plays, but only converted on one of them. It is not 30-1, by the way, despite of what the scoreboard says in the rink.
They'll have to pause play.
Interesting.
Clock wouldn't start, and this is unfortunate for the Young Kings because they were really set up.
You got to think that they're going to give them their full 2 minutes.
Oh, yeah, no question. But now it's important to win this draw once again, as Clements will have to do so. And I guess we're good for puck drop.
Okay.
Ignore the score. There we go. 3-1.
We had another whistle. Hand
pass.
pass. Jinx.
So we'll go out just outside of the blue line. Another nice face-off win for Clements. It's Hicks. Soft one towards the net. Repossessed at the point. Borden. Seiden now back in the game. Good to see that. He was the one who couldn't put pressure on that left leg earlier, but he is skating pretty normally here on the power play unit. As Wyatt Hicks. This takes a bounce to the back door, but it is scrapped out by Matthew Tang, and Andy Burns will come way out of his crease to play it. A pass long ahead and it escapes all of the Young Kings sticks.
Luke, we talked about first class only allowing 3 goals at the tournament so far. By far the best defensive team. Well, the power plays or penalty kill percentage pretty good, 87.5, 14 out of 16. But what that tells you is that of the 3 goals they've allowed, 2 of them have been on their opponent's power play. So this is a big opportunity to get on the board here for the Young Kings.
Wow. 1 even strength goal allowed in 4 games. Crazy to think.
And still an 87% penalty kill.
30 seconds left on the penalty assessed to Nathan Toothill. It was 2 for tripping. Wyatt Hicks dishes it ahead. Clean catch there by Ferguson. Brooks Ferguson surveying the ice. Ferguson very patient here as he lets it up for Galloway. Galloway, the tough angle shot. Another no-problem save for Cooper Rosen, and now Tanner Dixon is across the blue line, dumps it in as Toothill escapes the box, and we are at even strength. Young Kings end up empty-handed.
0 for 1 on the man advantage, now 3 for 19 in this tournament for Young Kings. That was a golden opportunity to get this back to a 1-goal game.
This puck is up ahead for Joseph Ferroni. Ferroni has a 3-on-1, gives it across for Sims, and he can't corral it. Carrignan's shot flew over the crossbar. He'll regain it nonetheless back here on the blue line. And now it's Sims. Dixon back for Sims, and it's in between his feet. It's Ferroni. Sims now. Toe drag fire. Didn't pull the trigger the way he wanted to. And Scotty Sims will send it back in.
First class team looking for their first goal of the second period. Second period, in terms of goal differential, their best period, plus 13 here in the second period, 15-2 differential against their opponents for an average of 3.75 goals per second period, folks. Wonder if that has to do with the long change. Something we've been talking about all week.
They got the speed to manage it efficiently, that's for sure.
Yeah, now I'm really locking in. I had to complete what I started there with these stats, but reached into the box scores a little bit there and got some power play percentages because for whatever reason, and Game Sheet's got to get on this, why show the number of power play goals but not the power play conversion rate? That's the much more relevant stat.
Yeah. At least show the power play opportunities,
right,
so it's much easier to...
Yeah. So you don't have to count.
Yeah. Andy Burns pokes that puck out of a pressure position. And first class walks right back in with it. Ruggieri trying to get out of the zone. Can't do so. Sinha puts it up the wall, and first there is Papadatos. And the squeaks to the stick of Ruggieri. Puck was tipped, so no icing regardless. Nonetheless, it never made it there. And that's Borden with the fire. Made Rosen stretch out for it, but it ended up a hair wide. Much more defensive start to this second period. We're just about 6 minutes in, no tallies yet. Not a lot of crazy scoring opportunities either. I'd have to say 1 or 2 from first class. Young Kings are still getting their feet wet in this period.
Yeah, similar to the first period there. It took a while for these teams to get going, but once they did, 4 goals. We saw high-scoring first period.
Hicks slides it across the ice. Nice catch there. And a shot from Ferguson. Rosen, desperation, makes that save.
Our last goal now nearing 10 minutes of hockey game time since. I think we're due for one soon from either team.
Could it be right here? To the slot for Clemens. He has the lone Young Kings goal, trying to make it 2, and Rosen able to hold on to that. Otherwise, it could have been deadly with Ferguson crashing right to the cage. A combined 7-1-0 record between these two teams. That only loss was in the first game from the Young Kings to the British Columbia Bulldogs, who are undefeated. Another one of those undefeated teams.
Yeah, again, we talked about it last broadcast. We have 5 undefeated teams, 4 with a perfect point accumulation, winning all 4 in regulation. The BC Bulldogs, the lone undefeated team that contains an OT win.
Scotty Sims puts his body in front of this puck, gives it across, they score! Vanek Verk!
Wow, what a play by First Class on the rush. It wasn't even really a 2-on-1 until about 25 feet away from the blue paint, but Vanek Verk will get the goal, but Scotty Sims, how about that patience and selflessness to get that over? And Vanek Verk, all he had to do was rip it home. What a goal, and it's a 4-1 game.
Scotty Sims registers his first point of this one. Now he's got 2 goals, 9 assists, and 11 points in the tournament here in the beginnings of day 3.
Not too shabby.
There's a nice kick save from Rosen in tight. Now dangling with it is McDonough. It's loose in front of the net. Everybody trying to dig at it. One team trying to dig it out, one team trying to dig it in. And it's now a 2-on-1. Nick Smiley backhands it forward. Now it's taken in. A fire from Papadopoulos, and nothing will come of it as Smith regains. Sean Galloway had it swept away for a moment. Now he gets it to the backside for Victor Ruggieri. Nice defense there from Matthew Tang. 4-1 game amidst the shots favoring the Young Kings by 5. They have a 14-9 cushion in that category.
Yeah, it's kind of been a, I'm not going to say common theme, but certainly seen our fair share of teams out shooting opponents in spite of trailing games.
Oh, Rosen nearly bobbled that one into his own net. A routine shot became nearly dangerous.
Pretty sure in the NHL season this year, the Tampa Bay Lightning scored 8 goals on 14 shots, which was the best ratio in NHL history.
What a pass ahead. It's Verk in, looking for his second goal in the last few minutes. Ferroni. Now up top, here's a shot. Gloved down by Eli Baugh. Taken back by Ferroni. Ferroni up top for Kerrigan. Here's a chance, a pass ahead and a breakaway for Blake Hamilton. Stick handling, forehand shot, score! Blake Hamilton had a great breakaway opportunity earlier. You'd have to argue he was tripped there. Now he gets one where he isn't, and look what he does.
Yeah, and we talked about how maybe that first goal by the Young Kings wasn't that flashy. Well, there's your flashy goal. Add that to the highlight reel. Unbelievable pass to get it to Blake Hamilton, and he now leads this team in points here at the Continental Clash with his third goal with an assist as well. He now has 4 points. And right now they're marking that goal as unassisted, and I wish I knew who made that pass because we got to give him his flowers. That was a great pass.
I believe it was Ruggieri. I'm probably wrong, and they better put that in there.
Well, if it was Ruggieri, then I guess him and Hamilton with that connection are now tied for the team lead in points at this tournament with 4 apiece, as Ruggieri has a goal and 2 assists coming into this one, so that would make it 3. And yes, we do have the replay, so we can make that determination for you fine people. You can probably let it run from there. That's fine.
Ruggieri's 68. Is he out there? Yes, I think it is him.
I will get that confirmation for you
2 on
soon.
1 in the meantime, as here's Colton Smith. Holds, fires, and he scores 5-hole. Just simply one you gotta have if you're the Young Kings. And in this tournament, a rare hiccup from Andy Burns, who came into this game with a .937 save percentage. And First Class has regained that 3-goal lead.
Yeah, that's Ruggier with the assist, by the way, which is now a pass goal. But we get that confirmation, and I don't know who has the ability to edit the score sheets, but
you better fix that.
Better figure that out. I always consult my guy Sam Schwartz when it comes to that for the SHL. Man, that was a good response, though, from First Class. Young Kings have had their chances in this game. They've capitalized twice. But this First Class team, man, they are just the team to beat here in Chicago this week.
And here comes the threatening duo of Dixon and Sims. They were interrupted, but now here they come once again. Dixon in the slot, and a big denial from Burns.
Oh my, would that have been a highlight reel assist if it's not already? Unbelievable spinorama pass to get that right in the low slot.
Burnaby's Kane and Taze are over the line once again. There's a shot wide from Tang at the point. Here's McDonough now. Soft shot, gloved and played. First Class was hesitant to touch the puck. I don't think they realized that Cooper Rosen played it. Two and a half to go. Here's Scotty Sims down the right side of the ice. Sims had it poked away. Nice defense there from Markham, but they hold on as it's Sims now. Throws it to the front of that. Big save and a tuck-in try from the reach of Ferroni. Wouldn't go.
The reach is right. Not sure how he got a touch on that.
I'll look across the ice. It's a little bit ahead of Colton Smith, but he has it now, and he finds Nathan Toothill. Liam Sinha. Some nice defense. Now Ruggieri attempting to get it over the blue line. Can't do it there. Nice stick check from Sinha, and looks like now they will do that. Just to be cleared right back in on Burns, and we have a whistle for that was a shot in the neutral zone while a player was offside, so that will draw an automatic whistle, and that'll be taken out to center ice.
And I'm interested to know what the approach is here for Young Kings when they have that discussion in the locker room. They have already clinched the playoff portion of this tournament. They obviously want to get this win to get a higher seed It's not going to be a do or die third period. But
I think for your self-confidence, though, it's huge. You want to know,
for sure.
You want to know that you can beat any team, and you're facing the toughest one right now.
Especially when their only loss is by 1 goal.
Yeah. Hicks trying to sweep it while on the ice. What a forecheck there as Lincoln German now has it. German flicks it towards the net, and Sinha's twigging the way. Finally under the last minute here in the second period. Lengthy period. Started off with really no offense, and then the scoring parade started with 7 minutes and 25 seconds to go from Vanek Burke. Kings answered back with a goal from Hamilton, and then Colton Smith snatched back that 3-goal lead that they've had for quite a while now. It will be an important intermission, to say the least. Of course, still a game, but when it comes to numbers, you'd have to say, obviously, the 2-goal lead and the 1-goal lead are very big, but you talk about 3 goals compared to 4 goals. 4 goals will deflate you, and you do not want that before this period ends. And here's another threatening opportunity. Here's Sims with the shot, big pad save, regains his own rebound on the back end, hits the iron, rebound, score! It was Joseph Ferroni, and that's exactly what we were talking about, Dylan. Now it's a 4-goal lead for First Class.
You talk about how different a 4-goal game is versus a 3-goal game coming onto the ice for the final period of play. It just feels that much farther away for the Young Kings and that much more secure for First Class.
We'll say it over and over again. All of you should know the 2 deadliest minutes of a period now. And they're looking for another one. It's on the goal line and swept out. Unbelievable glove save by Burns as time will run out on the second period. Great save to finish there. But First Class still ahead by 4.
And that would have been the killer, because that would have made the third period start with a running clock. And with that rule we discussed, you don't get the stop clock until the game is restored to a 3-goal differential. So we are going to have a normal timed third period here, which is advantageous to the Kings. We'll see what happens when the teams come out for period number 3, in spite of the score being a little bit lopsided. For me, it's been a pretty entertaining game, and I think it evenly played as well.
Well, we'll take a temporary break up here, just about 10 minutes. You're watching the World Sports Broadcasting Network. For Anthony and Dylan, my name is Luke. We'll see you back. Don't leave your seat. Or if you do leave your seat, come right back for that third period.
At Ironmen Industries, we forge the foundation of excellence in steel manufacturing. Our dedication to quality and precision sets the industry standard, delivering unmatched innovation that powers progress and builds tomorrow's world. We don't just produce steel, we craft a legacy of strength. With every cut, weld, and bend, our commitment to our customers shines through. Choose the steel partner that never compromises on quality. Visit us at ironmenindustries.com. Ironmen Industries stands for quality and precision in steel manufacturing. Specializing in quality of our work, we're committed to our customers. Build the future with us at ironmenindustries.com.
I'm Dr. Cassie Preston. My job as a mental performance coach is to help elite athletes, just like you, to consistently perform at your capabilities. But in order to do that, you need to reliably get in the zone. The problem is, like most athletes, you spend too much time in your own head, worrying, overthinking, and are doubting yourself. This can be frustrating and discouraging because you've put in all this work to develop your physical abilities. Your mindset is causing you to underperform. Now, I understand that working on your mindset can be difficult and confusing. There's so much cliche advice out there like, don't worry about it and just be positive, which might be the mental states you want to achieve, but it's not the how-to. In fact, this fluffy cookie cutter advice often makes things worse. Instead, what you need to do is challenge the status quo and think differently about success and failure. That's why I wrote the best-selling book, Mindset First, to provide athletes like you a repeat and reliable way to win the mental game. I share the concise and practical strategies I use to help professional athletes be at their best day in and day out. This book will help you break free from the weight of results so you can stop spending so much time in your own head and start playing with confidence so you can perform when it matters most. And most importantly, I promise you this, by reading this book and working on your mental game, you're going to have a heck of a lot more fun along the way.
Hello, as we welcome you back, Young Kings and First Class. A 6-2 game favoring First Class, looking to maintain an undefeated record and move to 5-0. My name is Luke Jordan. Our producer is Anthony Lund. Joining us shortly is Dylan, who's making his way back. It was a 3-1 period favoring First Class. It started with Vanek Verk, then Blake Hamilton scored on a breakaway. Colton Smith answered very shortly after. We're talking 52 seconds later. And then Jace Watts got one in the final 25 seconds to really carry some momentum into this third period. And it's a lot of lopsided games right now, currently active. ESH is also up 6-2, but on Southeast Elite. The Western Selects have blanked Slovakia up to this point, a 5-goal second period, and they're up 6-0 on the Slovakia Kings.
Slovakia side really struggling here at this tournament so far.
I said it last night on the broadcast, Dylan. I want to hear at least one Slovakian national anthem.
Yes.
That would be cool, because I don't think really anybody's heard it.
Come on, yeah. I don't know how it goes. I'd like to be informed, be educated.
It would be very unique. It would be the first time at this tournament ever we would hear the Slovakian national anthem.
Slovakia qualified for the round of 16 in the Euros yesterday too, if there are any soccer fans out there. Big game for the U.S. today at 5 p.m. against Panama.
Man, it is chilly in this rink.
You know
but
what?
The boys
It
are
is.
fired up and ready to go for this third period. I wouldn't say I'm fired up. I would say I'm chilled up, but I'm ready to go as well.
It's more chilly than it has been.
Yes.
At least it feels that way.
Yes, our producer Anthony said that this morning, and I was going to say it, but it was in my mind for like 20 minutes, and I was like, okay, so I'm not going crazy. So good to know that we're all on the same page and we're all chattering while we speak. Whew. 6-2 lead for First Class. Shots are 19-16, favoring them in that category as well. Although the Young Kings outshot First Class 8-6 in the first. First Class bounced back and outshot them 13-8 in the second. So it's been back and forth, just the bounces and the better scoring chances have gone in the favor of the current Kings uniforms instead of the retros. Very, very cool matchup we have.
Just to go back to that thought, how it's a little chillier in here, probably has something to do with a little bit of a cooler day in Chicago.
That's true.
This week we've had highs in the 90s pretty much every day since sometime last week. The high today only 72. It's only 68 degrees outside right now.
Kerrigan up the ice. And a shot would have went wide, but it was still blockered away just in case from Andy Burns.
And if you're Canadian, I apologize, but I'm not making that conversion.
Here's Scotty Sims, and oh boy, stretching out for that one. Andy Burns brings that thing to the ground. What a save there with the trapper.
Luke, you and I have seen some highlight reel saves at the Continental Clash. I don't know if I'm calling that the save of the tournament so far, because there have been some special ones, but it's in my top 3. Make no mistake.
Yeah, don't be fooled by this scoreboard. Andy Burns is a great goaltender coming into this game with one of the best save percentages in the entire tournament. Of course, this game will puncture him a little bit statistically, but you know, this Young Kings team can go real far with 2 solid goaltenders. I've seen Ryan Longley play in person, and in that game, he stopped 31 out of 32 and stopped 2 of the 3 shootout attempts to give Young Kings that shootout victory over ESH, who is currently up 4 on Southeast Elite.
Young Kings -2 differential here in the third period so far at the tournament. First Class 7-0. They're outscoring their opponents in the final period, so they have yet to allow a goal in the final act. Through 4 games, they'll look to continue that trend and point to this team being the 1 seed in our 16-team bracket.
Of course, they'll still have to play late. Now ahead to the stick of Colton Smith. Beautiful toe drag, but it was still poked away somehow. Followed up on it, and that was denied. Racing out of the zone comes Kellen McDonough. Side and shot wide. Rebound, wrap around. McDonough looking for his first goal of the tournament, and it doesn't come off the twig the way he swept away. Under 11 minutes to go in the third. Young Kings got to get moving. 4 goals needed. There's Asher Clements. He scored the first one for the Young Kings in this tilt. Here's Clements ahead for Brooks Ferguson. Ferguson actually got to see what appeared to be his father at intermission. He was talking about how he said a lot of family and friends and teammates are tuning in to this broadcast, so we welcome you here. And
yes, hello.
Ferguson trying to turn on the blue line, and just simply better defense there from Tang. Now Smiley for Cooper Rosen, coming into this game with a .75 goals allowed average and a .950 save percentage. He stopped 17 out of 19 in this one so far.
Yeah. Now First Class has taken over that shots on goal. We were tracking that for a while in this game, and similar to the first 3 periods, in spite of a pretty high-scoring game we've got going on, we're, again, nearly halfway through a period without any goals.
Scotty Sims with finds Ferroni. Puck battle won by Hamilton and the Kings. A nice sweep ahead for Victor Ruggieri. Ruggieri shot, and that is a glove save for Cooper Rosen. Pretty hard to come back from a 4-goal deficit when you're facing the best defense in the entire tournament. Honestly, you should be honored to score 2 goals considering coming into this one they've led in 3 through 4 games.
Even say that with their, it's going to be likely a 5-0-0-0 record.
Ooh. There's a shot, looks like it might have got part of Burns. To land Lincoln German. This takes a bounce in front. Really weird redirection from the goal line, and nonetheless, Andy Burns no problems with it. We are 2 seconds from passing the halfway mark here in the third period. No goals have been found yet. No penalties either. Nothing in the score sheet so far in this third.
3 teams right now at the Clash with 6 goals. A couple of 6-2 games, including this one, and a 6-0 game in progress.
There's a shot, loose in front, and it trickles just left of the net. This will be in deep. Palatnik, Galloway gives it right back. And now Blake Tushev up ahead for Chamberlain. A nice breakout there, but the zone entry not as much. Scotty Sims over the blue line. Shot hit the leg of Garraway. He feels that a little bit. And now up at the point, it's Toothill with a lengthy shot, and Burns the butterfly save. Here's Ferguson trying to use the wall. He's held off, potentially, in some cases, could be interference, but they'll let that slide. Not exactly bad defense there by Kergnen, but you can't try to move outside as they move outside and still be in their lane. If you just stay in a straight line, there would be no call, but technically that's bending the rule book a little bit. We'll get no call. Here's a shot from German. Hit a body on the way, slowed it down, and it was a fairly easy save for Burns. Smiley rings it around.
We just crossed the 10-minute mark since we've seen our last goal. Still nothing here in the third period yet. As we talked about already, Young Kings are going to be the first team to score against First Class in period number 3.
They've got 4 shots in this period compared to First Class's 11. Ruggieri looking to add on and try to find a goal as well. Ruggieri still holding, throws it towards the net, and in a situation where he could have held maybe a little bit longer, he just kind of panicked there. And although this, if the time expired now, and this was a 4-goal victory, as there's a shot, almost 5, still loose, and Burns just lies down. Now we have a little bit of an altercation after, and rightfully so. Unwritten rule number 1, never touch the goalie after the whistle, and that is what happened. But even if this game is a final of 6-2, this would be the closest game that anybody's played against First Class.
Yeah, and that just goes to show you how big of a favorite they are. And, of course, one thing we've been talking about here on this broadcast is Young Kings. Each and every game of theirs has been within 1 goal. They're an overtime win in there, too, so this would be the largest lead anyone has ever had at the end of a game for the Young Kings.
You know, with a record that you still feel pretty good about making the playoffs, you can't complain about playing a competitor like First Class. It really makes your team better. Playing better teams make you better. Iron sharpens iron, and a game like this, as we're in the final day, can build you up for the playoffs, and you can feel a lot better playing slower teams.
And this tournament really whizzing by, Luke.
Yeah.
Already in our final regular season games this afternoon and evening. Playoffs all day tomorrow, as well as the consolation games.
Here's a look to the front for Verk, and a big save by Burns. Sims will fly that into the black netting. Thank goodness that's there at least, because that could have broken a window at Big Fish's ice house. And that we do not want.
Yeah, and I think that's why that net extends so far beyond the goal line, as it doesn't on the other end. I think it's exactly what that's for, looking at that restaurant.
Palatnik taking off the puck. And here's a big turnover in front. And Kellen McDonough was bodied to the ice. We'll get no call. Two ticks under 3 minutes to go in period number 3. As First Class inching closer and closer to yet another victory. They'll get to hear "Oh Canada" once again. The only time they probably heard the Star Spangled Banner all tournament is if they were getting ready for a game prior. It's truly crazy.
It's been quite the run here for First Class so far.
You can catch a good tilt between Great Lakes, Wisconsin and Toronto Elite. That's another one of those lower teams who are pretty even, fighting for a spot type of game. That'll be probably one of the most entertaining ones today. 2 fairly even teams. Maybe a slight edge to Great Lakes. But that game is next here on the North Rink if you want to stick around. Will you be here for this one, Dylan?
What, the next one?
The next one?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Because I know we are split for a small increment of time.
Yeah, so, we're going to be split this afternoon. I'm going over to the South Rink.
Ooh, your favorite.
Yeah, my favorite.
I told you you'd end up there at some point.
Yeah. The first draft of the schedule didn't have me over there, but, it'll humble me a little bit. It'll make me appreciate the other two rinks here at this facility.
Berg's shot is blocked, and yeah, I do. This North Rink happens to be my favorite one. Center one's solid, but the viewpoint here, it's perfect.
I also really like the way the restaurant looks in from behind the net.
Yeah.
It looks in at the other rink, the center rink too, but it's straight on, kind of like similar to the position we're in right now. And, you know, a lot of times you'll have people standing at this walkway that we're at right now. And, you know, I really like the vibes here at the North Rink. St. Viator Hockey plays here, a local high school team that covered a lot of their games here.
Mm-hmm.
Makes me think of the Lions, their logo on the ice in their team office right next to the away bench.
And when I used to do prep games over on that center rink over there,
Yep.
we'd go on camera and there'd be like kids in the bar like trying to get into the camera shot
Yeah.
and everything. And you never know what they'll do sometimes, so it's always a little bit of a dice roll, but thankfully nothing ever too bad happened.
Still no goal in period 3.
Will Liam Sinha and the Rushing Kings try to change that? Here's Sinha on the backhand. Big save by Rosen. And still, First Class has not been scored on in this third period
It's impressive.
or any third period in this tournament for them so far. Another masterclass game, another above 900 game for Rosen so far. 21 out of 23 stopped.
That'll do it.
Unless the Kings can get one more. Or unless First Class can get one more. Here's Smith and Smiley. Drop back for Sims. And a great back check there by Blake Hamilton. Sims still trying to get one more. Backhands this one on Burns out of position. And the defense stands tall. The Kings will move to 3-2, First Class 5-0. One last chance here for Sidon. That is covered. We will not let the clock run.
1.2 seconds on the clock. One more draw here.
Looks like we will now.
Yeah, why not?
So First Class will mob Cooper Rosen, who plays another masterclass game.
A first-class game.
Yes. Gosh, I should have said that, Dylan.
Well, next time.
Handshake, fist bump line, whatever you want to call it, and then we'll hear "O Canada," and we'll close it out until the next game here on the North Rink. Great Lakes, Wisconsin, and Toronto Elite. .11:30 start, so we could start as early as 11:15.
Yeah, that's right. And that means we will start at 11:15.
Oh, wow, something I did not notice. Great Lakes, Wisconsin is 3-1-0. My goodness.
They are. There's a lot of teams that are 3-1. The 13th place team is this Young Kings. Well, they're going to now be 3-2, but they were 3-1. Only hanging on to the playoffs by a little bit, so
I will say, I don't want to be, picky, but you look at that Great Lakes schedule, it looks a little bit lighter than most teams, with the exception of the Lions being in there.
and you got Young Guns, the Kings, and Metrics, all 3 out of 4 winless teams so far.
And here comes O Canada. Well, there's clearly a great bond at first class. First team to really have that team hug, arms all around each other as they get to sing that anthem once again. I wonder if it'll be stuck in their heads by the end of this tournament as they move to 5-0.
And with all these different people down in the penalty box, we're getting lots of different renditions of both the Star Spangled Banner and O Canada. Keep us on our toes.
Yes.
I do like it too.
So later for the Young Kings, they play at 4:45 against Slovakia. That is on this rink. I believe I will have the call for that. So if you don't like me, I'm sorry. And for first class, they'll be playing on the center rink. That'll be first class versus North Shore Hockey Development Academy.
Yeah, that take a big red Sharpie out and circle that one. That's going to be one heck of a hockey game.
I will be score watching that one the whole time. So for all of us here at WSBN, our producer Anthony Lunn, color commentator Dylan Ward, my name is Luke Jordan, and we will see you in just about 15 minutes for the next one. Take care.